Hi, I'm back, and this time I'm here to bring you an update regarding my recital piece, which is "Got the Blues." The last time I played it, I played with just one hand, and I was still learning. Right, right now, I'm trying to put the two hands together, and I find it interesting. It's quite interesting. What is interesting is that I found something new. I learned something new too. Initially, when I started, like I mentioned in the last video, I didn't I am not in piano one class. I'm in the beginner class, and the songs that they gave, I could do them already. So I wanted to challenge myself. So I went a class upper and took a song from the class from the piano one class, which is I know all the things that I'm doing now. So I'm trying to practice and look at it. I learned a few things that I'll be reading to you. I'll be reading aloud because I'm still learning. So, but this is what I learned. I learned about primary chords in C major and chord progressions. A little bit. That's introduction to it. So I'll be playing it. I'll play it first, and then I'll be explaining to you what happened. No, instead the contrary. I'll read this to you, and then see how it helps you, and then I'll go into playing the song. See, this is about blues. What got me interested with the blues is that we started learning about the history of music, of classical music, and we started around the medieval area, around the 400 DC, and we went to the different eras. When we got to the Romantic era, just before the classical and Romantic era, that's when between the classic and romantic era. And we talked about Scott Joplin, who did the ragtime music, and that's where jazz came from, and I guess blue, and that's where typical American music started. And I learned that from that ragtime music, you had some African beats that were also taken from that direction. That's what got me interested in this, and I hope to go deeper in this subject and learn more about the origin of our music. It's much is written regarding classical music, but I would like to know more about the other varieties, and even this varieties, these different American style jazz, ragtime, blues. All of them originated from the classical music style, and we had composers that modified them, which got us to where we are today. And there's still more to learn. So I got interested. I said, I'm not very used to blues, but I decided to do this piece because I got interested. So this is what I have so far. I am not the best yet, but I am progressing. About the blues. Music called blues has long been a part of American music heritage. We find it in the music of many popular songwriters like ballads, boogie, and rock. Blue music follows a basic formula that is a standard chord progression. If you learn the formula for "Got the Blues," which is the song I'm playing, you will be able to play the blues in any key you learn. Simply by applying the formula to that key. And formula for the blues, we have there are 12 measures in one chorus of the blues. 4 measures for the chord 1, for the first chord, second 2 measures for the fourth chord, and two measures for the first chord again, 1 measure for the fifth, the V7 chord, the 5/7 chord, 1 measure for the 4 chord again, and 2 measures of the first chord. So the chords that we have are 1, 4, and 5/7, if I may say so, G7. So here they mentioned, I just wanted to mention what I learned. The primary chords in a C major. There are three most important chords in any key. The three most important chords in any key are those built on the first, fourth, and fifth notes of the scale. These are called the primary chords of a key. I didn't know that before. I'm still learning. And even calling the names, I may make mistakes, but you understand what I mean. The chords are identified by the Roman numerals 1, 4, and 5. The fifth chord usually adds the note of the seventh above the root to make a V7 chord. In the key of C, the first chord is the C major triad. The fourth chord is the F major triad, and the 5-7 chord is a G7 chord, a major triad with an added seventh. So they also mention chord progressions here. Chord progressions. When we change from one chord to another, we call this a chord progression. When all chords are in root position, the hand must leap from one chord to the next. To make chord progressions easier to play and sound better, the fourth chord and the 5-7 chord may be played in other positions by moving one or more of the higher chord tones down an octave. So I was trying to demonstrate that earlier. Let me try to bring a small demonstration here, if you can see it. Here you have the root position of the C major chord. If you move it, oh, sorry. Let me give you an illustration here. Here we have our C major C chord, C, E, and G, which is, and then we're going to be using the three chords for our blues: the C, the F, which is F, A, and C, and we're going to be using the G7 as they mentioned, the G7, which is G, B, D. That's the G chord. Now we're going to add in the seventh chord, which takes us to F. So we're going to add F to this chord. So it's going to be G, B, D, F. So it's going to be, so that's it. So that's what, this is where I am right now with the playing, and hopefully I still have issues with transitioning between the G7 chord and the F chord. I'm still working on it. My transition is not smooth yet. So let's get to it. Let me give it a second try. just hope to be consistent now. This is good. Yeah, I'm getting there. Whew. Now the challenge is for me to be able to, my challenge now is for me to be able to get to that point where I can play confidently without without panicking or without being afraid of the audience. So that's my challenge right now. And the second challenge is being able to transition from our F chord to the G7. So, in summary, what we talked about today, what I was trying to tell you about today, is that blues have a progression that if you know got the blues, you'll be able to do just a progression. It uses three chords only. It uses the this is a C major, the C major key, and it uses three chords, which are the primary chords. The C major chord, that's the one chord, the fourth chord, which is the F, and the G7 chord. This is what it uses, and that's all about it. Just practice and practice and practice. And it's also important to know that we could change the positions. If you have a C or D, you could move it. Kind of hard to explain without the screen, but you could invert. If you have a C position, you could move it up or down using the same notes. That's what I tried to explain. It's kind of difficult to explain without the screen. I wish I thought I was going to have an area where I could have a board to write, but it wasn't possible. So today, that's my experience for today. I hope you're enjoying it and you'll do it. We can do it. Practice is perfect and we can get it. Love you. Got the blues and wait for the final. We're going to do it. Bye.